Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, May 9th, 2024. Today we'll recap the Stanley Cup and NBA playoffs. Look ahead to tonight's playoffs games in each sport: baseball, soccer, reality TV, news and notes, and best bet. We'll kick it off with the NBA playoffs. One game last night, and it was a very inspirational, to say the least, effort by the New York Knicks with a 130-121 win over the Indiana Pacers, considering they're missing Jalen Brunson for a good portion of this game because of a sore foot. And then in the third quarter, they lose OG Anunoby to a sore hamstring. And I don't expect to see OG Anunoby for the rest of the series. But it is huge that the Knicks went up 2-0 because of that injury. And if they lost this game, then I think there's a good possibility the Pacers could have won this series. So, the Knicks get it done. The Pacers' defense falls apart. The Pacers really fell apart in the third quarter. And Tyrese Halliburton just was impactful in the first half. And Raheem Palmer of the Ringers said he went Ben Simmons in the second half. That's an insult, bro. Like, it's not like he scored 0 points. But, yeah, he wasn't really that impactful in the second half. I wouldn't go as far to say he was Ben Simmons. So, Knicks go up 2-0. Great win. Pacers keep complaining about the refs. Meanwhile, you couldn't take advantage of 2 stretches in the game. Well, they did, but didn't matter. They couldn't fully take advantage of 2 of the best Knicks players getting injured in that game. All right, 7 o'clock ESPN tonight, Cavs-Celtics, Game 2. I have no idea who's going to be on the call of this game. I'll tell you what. I think Mike Breen's going to be in Indiana because the Knicks continue to get favoritism in the playoffs, except for game, whatever that game that was that Ryan Ruocco called. So Cavs-Celtics, I think, is going to be Ryan Ruocco. Let's see. And in Mavs Thunder, I think, is going to be Mark Jones. So we have Ryan Ruocco on the Celtics. I was right about that. And Dave Paschke-Brown in Dallas OKC. So guess what that means? Mike Breen's going to be in Indy. Or where he really should be is Minnesota. But that's 2-0. The Knicks are 2-0. But you know where he's going to go. You know who gets the most favoritism in the NBA when the Lakers aren't around in the playoffs. Sometimes. But he didn't even call Lakers Denver. If he's not going to call Denver against the Lakers, they're not going to put him on Minnesota. They're going to put him where he's been all season. That's with the Knicks. So Cavs-Celtics, it's going to be Ryan Ruocco and Richard Jefferson and Cassidy Hubbarth on the call. Right now, my line Celtics 9.5, total 224 to 3/10. But if Jared Allen doesn't play, that goes to 12. And it is 13.5 and 12.5. Oof. They don't think Jared Allen's playing. That's what that line tells me. But I'll take the over. You know, Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown's get hot from 3. Maybe one of the Cavs guys does too. And at 9:30 on ESPN is Mavs Thunder. My line's Thunder 7.5 total 231 and 3/20. And it's 5 and 218.5. I like the over too. I don't know if I'll lay the points with the Thunder, but I like the over. I just to just for right now, I'm telling you all right now, the Pacers are a 7-point favorite against the Knicks tomorrow night. That's not good for the Knicks. That's them saying, we don't think Jalen Brunson or we don't think OG Anunoby's playing, and there's a chance Jalen Brunson doesn't play. But they're still minus 470 for the series, and the Pacers are plus 340. So the series prices have not changed since pretty much after game 1. But the favored outcome right now is Knicks in 5 at plus 195. So that's weird. That series is all over the map. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, but I'm going to go over both games. Celtics win game 2, and then the Mavs bounce back and even up at 1 apiece because Luka Doncic is a superhero. Now we move on to the Stanley Cup playoffs. We did a lot of NBA talk. There's a lot of media talk. And it's Dave Pash and Hubie Brown on the call for Dallas OKC, which I thought that was going to be Mark Jones. So, Stanley Cup, we had 2 games last night, and I believe we have 2 tonight. Panthers over the Bruins 6-1 to even up this baby at 1 apiece. Great bounce-back effort by the Florida Panthers. Sam Reinhart, 4 assists. Barkov had 2 and 2. It's just a really good effort by the Panthers all around after falling behind 1-0 in the first period. And the Canucks come back from 4-1 down to beat the Oilers 5-4 to take a 1-0 series lead. Inspiring win by the Vancouver Canucks. They found a great find in Dakota Joshua. And he's just been outstanding in the postseason. So, good for him. And good on the Canucks for rallying the troops a little bit. Because it did not look good halfway through this game for Vancouver. And I thought they had the win today. Because there's probably still underdogs in the series. I'm going to check. Because they're only plus 118 now. That's still really good value. So you missed the best number on them. How about this? Carolina's plus 230 over the Rangers. You can get over 2-1 with the Canes if you think they're going to come back and beat the Rangers. Dallas has a lot of value at plus 158. You should have gotten the Panthers when they were plus money the other day. So I think you missed the best of the number, both the Panthers and the Canucks. And then you missed the plus money with the Rangers before that series started. So if you want to bet the Stars, now's the time to do it. So to the games. So tonight, 7 o'clock, Canes Rangers. Kenny Albert's on the call. No Eddie Olczyk, though. I don't know why. But I know Kenny Albert's on the call. Don LaGreca's doing radio. Or I'm sorry, not Don LaGreca. Sam Rosen. I forgot. Sam Rosen does the playoff games on the radio after round 1 if Kenny Albert can't. Hurricanes minus 172, Rangers plus 142, over under 5.5, overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 184, Canes minus 1.5 is plus 152. This is a tough one, but I'm going to go with the over. I think the Rangers are due for a stinker, and I think it's going to happen in one of these 2 games in Raleigh. But I also think it could be a stinker and they score a couple goals along the way. Like, it could be like 5-2, 4-2 Carolina. I still think they're going to win the series, but I'm going to go with the over. I'll go over in Carolina, maybe even puck line. And puck line's a little risky, but the Canes are due to come through. Rangers are due for a little bit of a stinker here. 9:30 on TNT, Avs Stars. I'm guessing Brendan Burke's on the call for this game. Stars minus 134, Avs plus 112, over under 6.5, overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Avs plus 1.5 is minus 20, Stars minus 1.5 is plus 180. I'm going to go with the over in this one too. I just think this game in this series is going to have a lot of goals. And I think this, similar to the Panthers, is like a bounce back spot. So I'm going to go with the over in Avalanche Stars. Now move on to Major League Baseball. We'll go over results from yesterday and look ahead to a smaller window for today. Angels over the Pirates 5-4, Jays over the Phillies 5-3, Guardians over the Tigers 5-4-10 on a walk-off single by Brian Racino. Mets Cardinals postpone makeup date August 5th. Royals over the Brewers 6-4, Padres over the Cubs 3-0, so best bet 1. Dodgers over the Marlins 3-1, A's over the Rangers 9-1 game 1 doubleheader, game 2 doubleheader. Rangers over the A's 12-11. Yankees over the Astros 9-4. D-backs over the Reds 4-3. O's over the Nationals 7-6-12. White Sox over the Rays 4-1. Braves over the Red Sox 5-0. Twins over the Mariners 6-3. And the Giants over the Rockies 8-6. Only 7 games today. 1 o'clock. D-backs Reds. Slade Sassoni, Hunter Green. Hunter Green's been pitching very well for Cincy. They're minus 134. D-backs plus 112. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. D-backs plus 1.5 is minus 192. Reds minus 1.5 is plus 158. Some are going to say, oh, that's a cute bet. I don't care. I'm going under D-backs 3.5 runs plus 112. This is a Hunter Green pick. Mariners Twins. Logan Gilbert, Pablo Lopez. Twins minus 130, Mariners plus 110, over under 6.5, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Mariners plus 1.5 is minus 20, Twins minus 1.5 plus 180. That's a low total, so I'm going to stay away from it. So I'm going to go with the Mariners plus 110. Logan Gilbert's pitching out of his mind. 3 o'clock, Giants, Rockies. Keaton Wynn and Cal Quantrill. Giants minus 162, Rockies plus 136, over under 9.5, minus 110 each way. Giants minus 1.5 is even money. Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 120. I actually like the over. If you get a total under 10 at Coors Field, go it. Over. 5 o'clock, Astros, Yankees. Odd start time. Yankees going for the sweep and 6 straight wins. Ronel Blanco, Marcus Stroman. Yanks minus 138, Astros plus 118, over under 8, overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Astros plus 1.5 is minus 172, Yanks minus 1.5 plus 142. Yankee offense has been hot lately. I think that Friday night walk-off win against the Tigers after their offense was terrible against the O's and 8 innings into that Tigers game. Since that walk-off, the Yankee offense has woke up. But this is a tough one. Oh, the total went down a little bit. Hard call. I don't like how the Astros offenses looked either, but I'm going to go under 8 minus 105 because I think Ronel Blanco is going to pitch well today. I didn't want to pick Astros on the money line, but maybe that's the pick. Guardians, White Sox at 7:30. Ben Lively, Eric Feed. Guardians minus 172, White Sox plus 144, over under 8, minus 110 each way. Guardians minus 1.5 is even money. White Sox plus 1.5 is minus 120. Under. Don't feel good about it, though. Cards, Brewers. Sonny Gray and Tobias Myers. Cardinals minus 134. Brewers plus 114. Over under 8. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Cards minus 1.5 is plus 126. Brewers plus 1.5 is minus 152. Sonny Gray's been excellent for the Cardinals so far. I'm going to go Cardinals on the run line. Minus 1.5 plus 126. And last but not least, 9:30 Fox Sports 1, Royals, Angels. Michael Wacha, Reed Detmers. Royals minus 116, Angels minus 102, over under 8.5, overs even money, unders minus 122. Royals minus 1.5 is plus 140, Angels plus 1.5 is minus 170. Tough one. I'm going to go with the Angels straight up, minus 102, but I do not feel great about it. Just an upset pick. Now I'll move on to soccer. We'll go over the notable results from yesterday and look ahead to today. And I apologize, guys. I forgot we had a Conference League game yesterday. I just should have looked at the schedule. But Champions League, Real Madrid over Bayern 2-1, and they advanced 4-3 on aggregate. So Champions League final on June 1st will be Dortmund and Real Madrid. Who would have thought Dortmund would make the final, but here we are. So that should be a lot of fun. In the Conference League yesterday, Club Brugge and Fiorentina was a 1-1 draw, but Fiorentina advances 4-3 on aggregate. And today, 3 o'clock, we have Olympiacos and Aston Villa. Aston Villa, obviously, from the Premier League, and Olympiacos from the Greek Super League. So, Olympiacos is on some run right now. So I'm just going to pull this up really quickly. Aston Villa's even money. Olympiacos plus 230, draw plus 280. Where things stand right now, Olympiacos leads 4-2 on aggregate. Aston Villa is favored. Aston Villa has to win by more than 2 goals to advance. I think this is going to be a ruckus crowd in Greece. I'm actually going to go with Olympiacos at plus 230 for the upset. All right, next we got Europa League. 2 semifinal games today. 3 o'clock, Leverkusen and AS Roma. Leverkusen of German Bundesliga. Roma of Serie A. Should be a really good game. Leverkusen's favored minus 20. Roma's 5-1. The draw's plus 340. Leverkusen leads 2-0 on aggregate. So I am going to go I was going to do Leverkusen to draw at minus 800, but that's minus 800. Correct score is a fun one. That is probably one of my favorite things to do in soccer betting. But I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at plus 134. What's the odd for 2-0? 7-1. It's a 7-1 favorite for Leverkusen Roma. That's probably what the score's going to be. Or maybe 3-0. What's the 3-0 bet? Plus 950. But yeah, I would give out the under for Leverkusen Roma. And also at 3 o'clock is Atalanta Marseille. Atalanta of Serie A and Marseille of French League 1. So the Europa League final could be Serie A, but unlikely. Atalanta minus 130, Marseille plus 350, draw plus 250. Atalanta and Marseille are tied on aggregate. Atalanta should win this game. My pick is going to be over 2.5 goals at minus 112. All right. Women's League yesterday. Gotham over Houston 1-0. San Diego over Utah 2-0. Seattle KC 0-0 draw. Liga MX first leg, Guadalajara over Toluca 1-0. That is the 6-3, so that's an upset. And then Pachuca America was a 1-1 draw. That was the 7-1. All right, first leg tonight is UNAM Cruz Azul at 9 o'clock. So that is the 8 versus 2. So Cruz Azul plus 130, UNAM plus 195, draw plus 230. Should Cruz Azul be favored? Yes. But these two teams aren't far apart. I'm taking the draw, plus 230. In Tigres Monterrey, that is your 5-4 at 11 o'clock. Tigres plus 145, Monterrey plus 180, draw plus 220. Both these teams have had a lot of miles on them. These two teams I think are very close too, but I like the draw here as well at plus 220. EFL League One, Peterborough and Oxford United 1-1 draw, and Oxford advances 2-1 on aggregate. So this is like a playoff to for the promotion for the ELC. So these games are somewhat notable. So anything else in soccer we need to touch on today? So we have the Pro League today. We have a couple of matches here. 11 o'clock, Al Faya and Al Fateh. I'm going to say Al Faya wins that one. Al Riyadh and Al Tawoon. Let's go with the draw. And Al Nasser at Al Akdod at 2 o'clock. Al Nasser is going to win that game. The CONMEBOL Libertadores. We have 4 games. 6 o'clock is Liverpool against Palmeiras. I do not have odds up for that one. San Lorenzo and Independiente del Valle. 8 o'clock, Colo-Colo against Fluminense. And 8 o'clock is the strongest against Estudiantes de La Plata. And we'll obviously do a lot more soccer tomorrow. All right, now move on to the Masked Singer quarterfinals. Very entertaining show last night. I think it was somewhat predictable on who was getting unmasked. So Clock went first. So there's a piano, a light bulb. She said she was a young mom. She said she was touring. And she performed Get On Your Feet by Gloria Estefan. And the special clues were phone calls. And this was her son on the phone saying that she performed for the Pope. I'm going to guess someone that Robin Thicke said earlier in the season for Clock, and that's Roberta Flack. I think it's a 70s diva under the mask. I thought Diana Ross initially, but she sang a Diana Ross song, so that usually eliminates the person. But we never seen someone sing their own song. But I'm going to say this is Roberta Flack. Robin said Stephanie Mills. Jenny said somebody from Sister Sledge, whether it's Kathy, Debbie, or Kim. And Rita said Shirley Bassey, which, I gotta be honest, that was her Ken Jeong guess of the season. Then came Gumball. Talked about having doubts, and he mentions being an athlete. And he performed I'm Yours by Jason Mraz. And the special clue was his wife. And she mentions off-Broadway. I have 2 names in my head. Last week I said Seth Rogen. Okay, so Broadway, you think of New York City. There was a clue with a heart around Mississippi. He was booed off stage for winning. There was a horse in the clue package. This former quarterback's brother was also a quarterback and played for the Colts and the Broncos. Well, the brother played for the Colts and the Broncos. You know where I'm going here. Could this be the one and only Eli Manning? And the reason why Mississippi is important is because he went to Ole Miss. Why not? You know, I'm rooting for this, but, well, you never know. But right now, I'm still saying Seth Rogen, but it could absolutely be a surprise in Eli Manning. Robin said James Van Der Beek. Jenny said Derek Huff. Ken said Taron Killam again. And then in mid-show, there's an Amazon delivery for Ken. They showed all this confetti with the doctor's kit. I mean, that could have been a clue. But you never know. Poodle Moth talks about struggling in her life. She had a phone call that changed her life. She was in debt. She caught a break and changed her life forever. And she performed Price Tag by Jessie J featuring B.O.B. And the special clue was her sister on the phone and mentions that she won a Golden Globe. My guess here is Shania Twain. Rita said Sheryl Crow. Ken said Riley Keough, which is Elvis's granddaughter, also the daughter of Lisa Marie Presley. And Jenny went with Chrissy Metz. Last was Goldfish. Been through a lot in her career. Talks about being famous when she was young. And she performed Unforgettable by Nat King Cole, which was hands down the performance of the night. Although I thought Gumball's I'm Yours was really good too. And the special clue was what Goldfish called a very sexy man. And the significant other said that she loves to perform live. I had two names down, and as she was singing and talks about being young and famous and going through a lot in her career, are we sure the phone clue and the person calling her babe, aka that significant other, the very sexy man that Goldfish is referring to, are we sure that's not a clue to the phone scene in her famous song, Oops, I Did It Again? Are we sure this isn't Britney Spears? That would be the biggest get in the history of The Masked Singer. Not Demi Lovato, not Kermit the Frog, Britney freaking Spears. Why not? I think Goldfish is Britney Spears. I mean, it could be Hilary Duff, who Robin said, but I think Goldfish is more talented than Hilary Duff. That's no offense to Hilary Duff. I'm a big fan of Hilary Duff. And she was a good singer, good actress, but she's more talented than Hilary Duff. I'm sorry. That's why I think Selena Gomez is realistic. But I think it could be Britney Spears. I really do. And that would be the biggest get ever on the show. And I will be so happy if it's Britney. Ken Jung said Nicole Scherzinger, which was a dumb guess. Robin said Hilary Duff, and Jenny said Julianne Hough, which would be really funny, considering that she guessed Derek for Gumball. SmackDown was Poodle Moth against Gumball. The song was If I Can Turn Back Time by Cher. Poodle Moth went first, Gumball in second. Who goes on? Gumball, which means Poodle Moth goes home. My final guess was Shania Twain, a lot of country clues, and just sounded like her. Robin said Shania as well. Kent said Melissa McCarthy, the cousin of Jenny. Jenny said Chrissy Metz. Rita said Faith Hill, who was my guess a few weeks ago, oh my God, I would have been so mad if it was Faith Hill, only because I had it, but I switched my guess deal, which has never happened to me. Never happened. But obviously last week with the I thought about this person, but it ended up being this person, came through with Ruben Studdard. It wasn't the case here. Chrissy Metz was Poodle Moth, so Jenny correct in last night's episode. So, the semifinals is Goldfish, Gumball, and Clock, and those are the best three left. And obviously we're going to have the third place unmasked. I was going to say we were going to have a battle royale, but we're probably going to have another SmackDown. So they'll announce the winner to go to the finale. And apparently next week's a 2-hour show, which is wild. How's it a 2-hour semifinal? And obviously the final is in 2 weeks, which is the same date as the Survivor finale. So, for the second season in a row where the two finales fall on the same day, and then the Idol finale is the Sunday before. So, there you have it for the Masked Singer. Now I move on to Survivor. That was an episode. We'll talk about that right now. So, this starts off with everybody talking about Maria's threat level taking a big joint up after the Tiffany blindside. And even Charlie considered turning against her. Everyone searched for an idol the following morning, and Venus found it. And then the reward immunity challenge is that the players bounce the ball on top of a pole while navigating over and under obstacles before adding more length to the pole and crossing a balance beam. And once at the end, they maneuvered 2 additional balls across a horizontal snake maze, attempting to drop them into 2 separate targets. The first to finish won immunity as well as a pizza reward, which they were able to share with 2 other tribe mates. Maria won the challenge and chose to share the reward with Ben. And after being unable to choose between Q and Liz, the 2 players played rock, paper, scissors, and Q won. So he joined them on the reward, making everybody else unhappy. Q proposed that he and the Sega 3 vote out Venus, while those out of the reward targeted Q. Venus hinted to Charlie that she said something up her sleeve, which made him very wary of trusting her, and at Tribal, Venus was sent to the jury with her idol going unplayed. My goodness. So everybody voted Venus except for her who voted Q. And Ben voted Kenzie. What the hell was that? That's going to be a big storyline. So, best move of the episode. That's a hard one. But I'll tell you what, the worst move of the episode was Venus not playing her idol. Or else those 5 votes don't count. And then they have to re-vote, and then Q goes home in all likelihood. But best move of the episode, I'm going to say, was, I gotta be honest, Charlie realizing the threat of Maria. And vibing with the other tri-mates. Worst move of the episode we already talked about. Favorite part of the episode was probably when Kenzie said, "My messy, sweet little friend," about Venus. And that turns out to be the title of the episode. Just the way Kenzie presented it was funny. My least favorite part of the episode was Venus hinting to Charlie about the idol. That was bad. That, I think, could have cost her. Also, or superlatives. Winner pick, I don't think Maria shot herself in the foot by any stretch of the imagination. But I think she's on the chopping block in a major way. So I'm going to change my winner pick to Charlie for now. Maria has to win immunity to win, I think. Only because the target's on her back. And everybody knows the big threat she is. Because if she wins immunity at 4, it's over and she will win. I compared her to Dee last week, but she could be this season's Carla. Because remember, Carla was the front runner, and then all of a sudden, even Cass turned on her biggest ally. Well, Charlie's starting to turn on Maria, but Charlie, I think, is more of a threat than Cassidy ever was on 43. So, I'm going to say Charlie's the winner right now. Next week's out. This pains me to say it. If she doesn't win immunity, it's going to be Maria. But if Maria doesn't win immunity, I think it's going to be Q finally. So I'm going to say Maria or Q, and I think it comes down to who wins immunity. And the player that I think is going to win immunity, I think Ben is due to win immunity. I think they're going to be talking about Ben going home too because Kenzie's going to be mad at him for the vote. I'm going to say there's some talk about Ben, but Ben wins immunity. And then I think Maria's out. But if Maria wins immunity, Q's out. So yeah, sorry Maria. Now we move on to the news and notes for today. Breaking news coming down. Maple Leafs fire Sheldon Keefe. I'm not surprised. They haven't made the conference finals under him. All they do is underachieve in the playoffs every year. He's been with the team since 2019. So there's a lot of names available. Gerard Gallant, which I don't think they're going to go there. Travis Green went to Ottawa. Well, they get Barry Trotz out of Nashville. Do you think they have some regrets of not keeping Spencer Carberry, who got the Capitals to overachieve this year and make the playoffs? I wouldn't say that they have any regrets about that, but this is the Toronto Maple Leafs. You have to get a big splash. I mean, Chris Knobloch would have been really good for them, but Edmonton hired him. If Carolina loses this Rangers series, and let's say they somehow lose in 5, could Ron Bindamore be available? If the Rangers sweep Carolina, I'm not saying they're going to sweep Carolina, I don't think they will, but Ron Bindamore, I think, could be available if Carolina is either swept or loses in 5 against the Rangers. I mean, could it be Barry Trotz? Could it be some of these other coaches that are veteran free agents. I mean, it doesn't look like John Tortorella's leaving Philly. Could they get... I mean, looks like Mike Sullivan's staying in Pittsburgh again. He survives because they barely made the playoffs. Or barely missed the playoffs, I'm sorry. So we'll see where Toronto goes. And they're going to be battling with New Jersey and the Winnipeg Jets for coaches. But yeah, I'm not surprised. I even said it. I don't think I said it on the podcast. So, we'll see. And maybe Sheldon Keefe goes to the Devils. So Jay Woodcroft's available. Craig Berube. I think Craig Berube wouldn't be such a bad hire for Toronto. But they probably aren't going to hire a retread, Toronto. I mean, sometimes the retreads work. Peter Laviolette's worked for the Rangers. So, sometimes the retread works. And I was against the Rangers hiring a retread coach. I wanted them to hire Chris Knobloch. But after the Oilers collapse in Game 1 against Vancouver, he has to get some blame for that. I mean, he's a rookie coach. And then Laviolette, who's a veteran coach and has been in numerous Stanley Cup finals and then won a cup back in 2006. Granted, that was a long time ago. But, yeah, I'll admit defeat with Peter Laviolette. Not that I said that it was a bad hire. I just was hoping that they would go with Chris Knobloch. But, like I said, sometimes the retread's the right pick. Just see the Rangers. The Rangers are a good example. The Dallas Stars are a decent example. Vegas with Bruce Cassidy, decent example. So, even Vegas when they hired DeBoer. The Preds with Andrew Burnett getting into the postseason. So, there's a lot of examples where it's worked. So I think the Leafs need to get a big name in there. Julian Edelman said the tension between Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft could cut effing glass. Yikes. The New York Football Giants signed Allen Robinson. I don't hate that signing. But they better not cut him like they cut Cole Beasley before the year. Because I think Cole Beasley could have helped them. The Charlotte Hornets hired Charles Lee as its next head coach. Charlotte had to hire a hot assistant that needs time. They could not do what Detroit did with Monty Williams. So I don't hate the hire for Charlotte. We'll see if he's the next coaching assistant that works out. Nikola Jokic wins his third MVP in 4 years. Not surprising. And he got like 79 first place votes. It wasn't even close. He's the best player in the NBA. The best player in the NBA usually wins. And let's be honest. I think most people had Jokic winning MVP even before that Spurs game in which they collapsed in that dropped into the 2 seed. But that game still didn't cost Jokic the MVP. And I think it should have been Jokic. I mean, he's the best player in the NBA. Best player in the league should win. The Pacers submit 78 missed calls as Rick Carlisle cites small market teams deserving equal shot as reason for reporting. Like, what a fucking loser Rick Carlisle is. That guy, my God. I mean, he was lucky in round 1 because Giannis got hurt. And he can't even take advantage of the Knicks not having Julius Randle for the season, pretty much. Especially the second half. no Brunson for a good portion of the game, and no Anunoby for most portion of the game. And you use this as your excuse. Meanwhile, you are the idiot because you didn't put T.J. McConnell in crunch time, and T.J. McConnell killed the Knicks. And why did you sit T.J. McConnell? That was a huge mistake by Rick Carlisle. I'm not saying the Pacers would have won the game if he kept T.J. McConnell in, but it would have been a hell of a lot more interesting if he did. He shot himself in the foot. And the refs should not be the number one blame target. Meanwhile, you made the biggest mistake, not the refs. Sorry. I mean, yeah, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm delighted that T.J. McConnell wasn't in crunch time, but Rick Carlisle deserves a ton of criticism for this. And he's just sitting there making fucking excuses about, oh, they missed 78 calls. Like, shut the hell up and grow up. Give me a break. And you guys are every bit as crying losers as the 76ers were in the first round. Give me a break. And yes, I get it. There were calls in the Knicks' favor. But the Pacers just made mistake after mistake after mistake. And that's why they lost the game. And missed free throws galore by you guys as well. So, stop blaming the refs. And good on Tyrese Halliburton saying that the Knicks outplayed them and downplayed the impact of officiating. And then Carlisle said that they missed the Josh Hart push on Halliburton. Just stop crying. Give me a break. We talked about the hamstring injury for OG Anunoby. And then Jalen Brunson literally played the second half on one foot. Charles Barkley rips the Knicks fan base as he said he wants the overrated city to suffer an Eastern final. Like, you're just mad that the Knicks are in this spot. TNT hates the Knicks, and they've hated the Knicks because James Dolan fired Marv Albert in the mid-2000s. And that's why you hate the Knicks. And you love when they're the laughingstock of the NBA. Guess what? They're not the laughingstock of the NBA. If anything, you guys have become a laughingstock, and that's why you're going to lose the NBA in a year when NBC outbids you. And you're just jealous that the voice of the NBA is the voice of the Knicks, Mike Breen. And you guys don't have him either. And the better channel does in ESPN. And then there was a debate about the MVP. And Barkley and Shaq argue about how SGA, Brunson, and Edwards deserve more MVP votes. And I agree with them. Jokic should have won, but it shouldn't have been a landslide. And Shaq thought that SGA was robbed. I personally don't. I think Jokic should have won, but I think it should have been a closer race, like I said. Jimmy Butler is eyeing the Brazil League as he wants to end NBA career with the Heat, but is interested in playing for Flamengo after. Like, what? The Pelicans had a minor exchange during Game 2 against the Thunder. Brandon Ingram against Willie Green. Yikes. Rich Hill is looking to join a team as he turned down 3 offers this offseason. The plea deal was announced for Ipe Mizora, who was the former interpreter for Shohei Ohtani. He's pleading guilty. And Mizora wired money to Real Housewives star to pay gambling debts. Yikes. MLB draft stuff. Second baseman Travis Bazzana and first base left-hand pitcher Jack Caglione are leading options for Cleveland over Candone of Georgia. Thanasi Sedetakumbo has a torn Achilles, will undergo surgery. Bayern's coach on late decisions, an absolute disaster. So Riley Kugel is leaving Kansas as he's expected to be re-recruited by high majors. And then Trent Noah flipped from South Carolina to Kentucky. So Kentucky finally gets a player. Paul Skenes is being called up this weekend. Will make his debut on Saturday against the Cubs. That's awesome for Pittsburgh. Probably should have done it sooner. So Las Vegas flipped a coin on draft night as Terrion Arnold shares he got a call from the Raiders after the Lions drafted him. Good news for the Yankees is that John Heyman reporting mid-June as a target for Garrett Cole's return. Which, let's face it, they really haven't missed Garrett Cole as much as they thought they were. They're 11 over 500 without Garrett Cole. That's the biggest Ewing theory in baseball so far this year. Although some may argue Padres won Soto, but then again they got a Raz, so that kind of helps replace the offense a little bit there, but in a different way. But that's the biggest Ewing theory in baseball. And they're tied for first with the O's. But that's going to cause some drama because the Yankees' rotation's been so good without Cole. Who's going to get pulled from the rotation to for the reigning AL Cy Young winner? Gable Stevenson has been contacted by multiple NFL teams after WWE release. So that's interesting. The Cowboys got Martavius Bryant. We'll see where he ends up going. NIL tournament teams revealed as Alabama and Houston among programs on board with $1 million in NIL payouts on the line. So we'll see who else gets in there. Jamal Murray takes responsibility after throwing towel and heat pad. Good on him. That's what a star player should do. And like I said the other day, if that was Embiid, they don't fine him. If that's LeBron, they don't fine him. Honestly, they probably don't fine Jokic if that was Jokic. There's police investigating Pat Beverly as police will review footage of fan incident during Bucks-Pacers Game 6. Oof. And NBA teams are monitoring Chauncey Billups as he would quickly emerge as a candidate for other jobs if he leaves Portland. Like, what? I think he's been a terrible head coach. Like, I don't think he's been a good coach at all. Like, what? I mean, maybe because the team's bad. It's not entirely his fault. It's more than the GM. But, like, that is such a weird thing. Huh. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. Best bet. This is a hard call. Because there's not a lot of options. And I will go to baseball again. So best bet won yesterday with the under in the Cub game. So I can't believe I'm doing this because the number's under 10. I'm going over in Giants Rockies. I can't believe it's 9.5. So I'm going with over 9.5, minus 110 between the Giants and the Rockies for my best bet of the day. So there you have it for the show, and I'll be back tomorrow with the big Friday show. A lot of basketball and hockey, a lot of baseball, soccer, golf, and a lot more. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.